is there anything that you feel like you haven't been able to say that you want to get out there about you or about HGH?
Okay, I want to say that the main reason we give it to people is not to improve their skin or build their muscle. You know, it to increase their vitality, the ability to continue to do what they did in the past and they can't do. You know, we're talking about exercise. Somebody come and quote article that doesn't help. If it's in the morning, I don't take my HGH, I feel different. My recovery from the exercise is not as good. I have pain, I have ache. When I take the human growth hormone, I don't have those sensations.
Part of me wonders, though, I mean, there's a reason we get old. And I mean, isn't that just part of aging? Isn't one who, you know, aren't you not supposed to feel the same at 88 than you are at 28?
So we should stop to do medicine. We should call every disease, your heart is not good, you're old. That's it. But everything in medicine, we want to restore back to perfection. But when it comes to our hormone, it's normal that they're falling. Only the lowest 2.5% of population are eligible to get them back. You know, they fought us on testosterone. Now everyone gives testosterone. It's just a matter of time. But I want to say one thing for this woman with fatigue. This is not an internal solution to fatigue. A lot of people have fatigue because decreased function of the adrenal gland. And those people, growth hormone would be the wrong treatment to that.
Do you worry about, Dr. Pearls, do you worry about people continuing to try to pursue the youth that they had in their 20s when they're in their 50s? I mean, is there a reason we get older?
Oh, well, I wouldn't call aging a disease. I agree with you that it's not a disease. And the way that we should be in our 50s versus our 20s, I think that we can easily do that by maintaining very healthy habits. The average life expectancy in this country is about 81 or so, and it's really being held back by poor health habits. And if we just exercise a lot more, 30 minutes a day, we didn't smoke, we didn't drink so much, we managed our stress well, and we get to healthy weights, I think the vast majority of the population has the opportunity to feel very, very good in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and probably get to average life expectancies approaching 89 or even 90. And growth hormone is not part of that formula.
Okay,
again, I think if the doctor had mentioned that he thought that we needed to treat these lower levels, we needed to be back at youthful levels, and I think for various hormones, that would make us at markedly increased risk for all kinds of age-related diseases, including cancer. So I entirely disagree with him about that. And furthermore, it's not 2.5% of the population has low growth hormone levels that merit treatment. It's 3 per 10,000 in the population. It's a much smaller proportion than he professes.
Carolyn?
You know, you brought this up before, and now I get to address it. My hormone level for this human growth hormone is not being brought up to when I was what would be normal for a 20-year-old. It's being brought up at what would be normal for my age, okay? It's not being brought way, way up.
Right.
So I'm not going to have the side effects that you're talking about. I agree. If I was taking a human growth hormone and I was pumping it in there to get all this, benefits, of looking good and what you're suggesting, I would be worried. I would be worried, but I am not doing that.
Do you know the result of the long-term use of it?
I didn't understand the question.
Do you know the results of long-term use of it?
Well, I've been on it for 11 or 12 years, and I've had all the benefits. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes. My thyroid has never gotten worse. It's actually improved. I have a very stressful life. I'm not sitting in a bubble, and I've been able to handle everything beautifully. So I haven't had any of those. I understand what Alana's saying. I've had cancer in my family. Lost a father-in-law to pancreatic cancer. It's horrible. And
but you don't fear that this could increase your risk?
And when someone mentioned Suzanne Summers had breast cancer, so does every other woman. How many is it? So many women out of 11 people.
1 in 8.
1 in 8 get breast cancer. I think one day I might get that, which I hope I never do. But I think it would be in the course. That's going to happen anyway.
Dr. Pearls, what I had read about this, and one of the criticisms of it was that because it makes things in your body grow, that if you have a cancer cell, it may make that grow faster. Is that I mean, I know that's a layman's explanation.
For you to say I'm going to get it.
No,
for
I
you
didn't
to say that I'm going to get it anyway, and that it's okay to take the growth hormone.
She said she might get it.
I might, because people do die of something. You don't live forever. You do die of something, and usually people get some type of cancer, unfortunately. So I said I might get something.
That's just not true.
Really? Well, you get heart disease. Yes. What do you get? You die from what?
Yeah,
car accident?
Right. But to say that you're eventually going to get cancer is not right. There are plenty of studies, particularly in breast cancer, where breast cancer tumors, they make their own growth hormone. So one of the reasons I'm sure that Suzanne Somers stopped her growth hormone when she got breast cancer was it's going to make the breast cancer much, much more aggressive. And we particularly see this with brain tumors. This notion that babies or children who have brain cancer get growth hormone has nothing to do with an adult, and the myriad of reasons why you would not give growth hormone to a person who is either predisposed to cancer or has cancer. And any oncologist or endocrinologist out there would tell you, with anybody who has a history of cancer, the very last thing they would do is give person growth hormone, which is like throwing gasoline on a fire.
But that makes sense.
I finally remembered my question, which I wanted to ask before, which was actually something that Dr. Rice had raised. Which is that if they're giving it to people who have HIV for wasting disease, or they're giving it to kids who are having growth issues, and they're giving it in large doses, but these are just small doses that someone like Dr. Rice is giving, why is it healthy to give it to someone who has HIV or who has a child who has growth issues if it's not okay to give it to other people?
Well, in the case of AIDS wasting syndrome, actually, even though it's an approved use, you very rarely see growth hormone being used for that treatment, for that problem, because it really just didn't show much of a benefit given the large clinical experience that eventually emerged from that. And in terms of the idea that it's okay to get tiny, tiny amounts and get the person to a level that they would be at that age anyway, first of all, it's really not correct to just look at a person's level. You have to do a stimulation test to see if where you stimulate the pituitary gland to make growth hormone. And if you find that the pituitary gland doesn't respond and it just is not able to make growth hormone, that's part of the definition of this very rare disease. But there's a wide range of levels that people can present with, and some of these anti-aging clinics, they make up their own levels and their own thresholds and say, oh, look, see, you're low, but that's according to whatever level they came up with. So one can have very artificial levels and come up with whatever they need to be able to sell the drug. As far as saying, oh, it's natural, it's okay to give, well, you don't give insulin to a person who doesn't have diabetes. And they might say, oh, well, small amounts is okay. Well, people can get arsenic in small amounts and die. So this notion that it's either all natural, and arsenic is a natural occurring substance, and it's a very, very dangerous poison, none of those arguments float in medicine.
Dr. Rice, I just want you to respond, then we got to go.
First, if we will decide the side effect will create the use or not the use of human growth hormone, we basically should stop to take all drug, because every one of the drugs that people are given have tremendous amount of side effect. Just a few days ago, they showed that if you take sleeping medication, you increase the death by 4-fold. So if I will go and follow what this professor is suggesting, we should stop all medication. There's barely any medication that don't have side effects. I just took baby aspirin for 3 weeks.
I agree with you, but for many of those drugs, the benefits are outweighing the risks. That's certainly not the case here.
We've got to wrap it up. I want to thank Alana Stewart and Dr. Pearls and Dr. Rice and Carolyn and Casey. Thank you so much for all your perspectives. I hope we got a lot of people some information that they can use to make up their own minds out there. We're out of time. Thanks for joining the continued conversation here online at andersoncooper.com. Let us know what you think about today's show. Write your comments below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.